The family, a bit close to the family, my pastor friend, both of them are pastors, the man and the woman, the pastors. He was with me 3 days ago. He was with me in the house just to share fellowship just 3 days ago. But then this incident happened sometimes in, I think this should be in June or July this year. Very sad. So while I was praying, we were believing God for healing for this sister who, for some reasons, after she took now, I'm not campaigning against COVID-19 vaccine. I'm not campaigning against it, and I'm not campaigning for it. Let everybody be led by the Spirit. Shortly after she took the vaccine, she became ill, and a few weeks after she died. But we're told it's 1 out of a million cases. So we were quite worried that she wasn't sick. She just, after taking that, something went wrong with her body, and then some ailments started coming out, which doctors explained and said, well, she had those ailments in her body, but then as a result of the shot, he brought it out, and then all that. Very sad event. But the last moments of her life, I'm not talking about something I saw read in a book or watched a movie or read some people who say they saw Jesus or they had testimony. This is a family close to us in Manchester. I was praying. We were all praying for her healing. The last 2-3 days, I'm sure the husband won't mind me sharing this, because then I encouraged him to ensure that he shares this with every opportunity he gets. While she was in the hospital and she was ill, dying, Jesus showed up to her in the hospital there in Manchester, and the Lord said to her, according to the testimony, that, do you know if you die now, you are going to hell? Then she argued with the Lord and said, but Lord, why? My husband is a pastor. I'm a pastor. We serve you. We have a church. Lord, my children are born again and all that. And there was pandemonium in the hospital, because then the nurses and the medical practitioners thought she was going mad as she was talking to an invisible person. And the Lord said, no, you won't make it to heaven, and I want you to tell your husband as well that none of you will make it to heaven. I said, but we're pastors. He said, yes, both of you go to hell if you were to die now, and therefore I won't take you home yet until you make amendments. And she said to the Lord, she said, Lord, what's the amendment? Then she said the Lord sat by her bedside in the hospital and told her so many things. Because of time, I wouldn't want to go into details, but one of the things that she said the Lord told her, he said, you and your family, you go late to church every day. Watch this. My heart broke. He said, you are the pastors of the church. The members of the church get to church before you. You stroll into church with your family. Worship is already on. That simple. He said, you have not portrayed a good example. Blah, blah, blah. You know, she said the Lord began, and then a few other things. There are things we see as very simple. So she started to cry and said, Jesus, don't let me die. Don't let me die. The nurses came and calmed her down. Real life situation. The nurses came, calmed her down, all that. She said, Jesus, don't let me die. And she started to tell the nurse, please, can you send for my husband? Let me have my phone. My husband has to be here. I have to talk to my husband. So she was able to get through to my friend, the pastor, the husband, who drove and told the husband, come quickly. The Lord just spoke to me and said, you must be at the hospital before 3 p.m. The man drove like crazy, got to the hospital, saw his wife. At the time he saw his wife, he said she was looking like an angel. The pains and the illness and the infirmity had gone, all the pains gone from her body. He was excited. Look, you look like an angel. Looks like all is well. No more pains. The symptoms were gone. And then she sat the husband down and told him all that the Lord said. How that on Sunday morning they would drag their feet and get late, allow praise worship to pass, and they will stroll into church as, you know, the king of the assembly. The husband broke into tears and was weeping and were crying. Not long story short, it looked like the Lord gave her 24 hours to make amendments. After that, she passed on to glory. Yeah. When we went to his house to pay condolence visit, my wife and I do not lie, I tell you the truth. When we went to his house in Manchester there, not too far from us, to pay condolence visit, sat down and said, man of God, my life is changed. We will never go late to church anymore. We will never take God for granted. While worship is going on, all those style of we are the special leaders, we're the king over the assembly, all those have ended. I joined the people like I am also seeking the Lord, not the people seeking me, and began to say a lot of things. My heart broke.